Obviously, it's a pretty tumultuous 24 hours. How are the players since coming back from Melbourne?
They're great. Yeah, we're in a good space. We, like captain's run, we did it up on the shed floor today, which was just a chance for us to get a heap of footies in our hands, touch the footy, and get ourselves prepared for what will be a really good battle tomorrow. So the guys are in good spirits. They'll sleep well tonight, hopefully, and that'll help us prep for a big one.
Is there any plan to get back to Melbourne now that you're here, or you staying?
Look, as it sits, I mean, we need to be ready to do whatever it takes, so we're flexible and ready to go. But at this point, we prep for tomorrow, play against Brisbane, and then we see what comes from that. We'll plan to be here for the week because we'll set up training, train Tuesday and Thursday as we always do every week, take the Wednesday off and sharpen the saw, and then, but if that changes come Monday, well, we're ready to go again.
Do you have problems finding a hotel as well last night? Did you sleep out in the park there, or you managed to find a hotel?
No, we had a very, very good hotel. No, there are no problems with accommodation, and obviously we get well looked after on the flight and when we get down there, and bus transfers. So when you have a group like we have, which is a young, enthusiastic group, we had a player fly, first time he's been to Melbourne. So with that comes a bit of excitement, and the group get around him. And we had an announcement of a legend of the footy club signing on for another year, so we were able to let the group know about that. And so it was a little bit of a journey for some of our group. Now, time will tell what that does to us from a preparation point of view, because I'm not sure if it's been done before. We leave the state to come back, but we did what we had to do, and we'll do the same again if we have to.
How likely for you is it to be to come back?
Well, not at all. Not at all. On the flight over, we were a little unsure exactly where we were going to play because that wasn't locked away. And then slowly, as time went by, we found out there was a chance we were coming back. Obviously, that was our preference. We've got an amazing supporter base and member base back here in South Australia. So for us to play at home in front of a home crowd is a huge advantage for us. So our preference was to come back, but as I said before, we were ready to play anywhere. I think there was talk of Geelong and some other venues. So in the end, we're glad we're back. We're glad we're back at home. I think it's we'd love to see as many of our supporters and our members out there as we possibly can. I don't know how it's selling at the moment, but it's been a pretty tough week for them too, not knowing if the game's on. But yeah, we'd love to see as much support as we can because we've got a really tough game. Oh, no, not really. Not really. It's what it is. We're sort of getting used to that. That has been the environment for the last year and a bit. Ever since I started head coaching anyway. It's unusual, but at the same time, we've got a young group of men and a fantastic staff, and so we enjoyed getting away. Missing family is the tough one when we could have been away for 110 days. We're not sure, probably not that long with only 7 or 8 rounds to go, but it could have stretched out. That's probably the one part I think most. When you think about it, when you leave your family, you don't know if it's going to be for 2 weeks or whether it's 6 or 7 weeks later. But on this occasion, we're back.
Is that the benefit? I guess you're a pandemic coach, senior coach. You've mostly up the young groups, pandemic group of players. It's a different sort of landscape now where everyone, coaches and players, I guess more flexible and more up for anything.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe our understanding of how it works is reasonably open, and maybe that's something that helps us going forward.
Happy to get the Taylor squared away or locked away for next season?
Yeah, really pleased for the football club and for Tex. He's been huge since I've been at the club. He's been huge for me as a coach, on and off field. I think this year the way he started the season. On the field, he was playing at another level, and that comes off the back of the hard work that he put in throughout off-season, working with young guys to make them better. He's realised that making his teammates better makes him better, And so he deserves, another year. And it was great to sort of announce that in the last couple of days, and the group enjoyed that. And I know they'll enjoy playing with him going forward.
Did you see this year coming?
From Tex? Look, I knew we'd improve as a group. Tex wasn't the only person that I spoke to about making others better. It was a lot of our experienced players. Paul Seedsman's stepped up and done some amazing work off field. He's now being rewarded for that on field with his own performances, but he's also made some of these younger players so much better. So I have to be honest. At the start, there were some things that Tex was doing that I was quite surprised at, and had a bit of a smile in the box and enjoyed watching it, because he was playing at another level. He was really confident about his footy, but he's still competing for us now. He's battling in 2-on-1s when we need him to. He's bringing the ball to ground. He's working off field with players. So no, I'm not surprised that he's getting rewarded.
Was there any feelings going more than one, or is it just at the point of his career now that it's just one year?
I think, I don't want to talk about the nitty-gritty of it, but I think one more year for Tex, it doesn't mean it's only one. He performs again and he continues to go on. The age is just a number.
Just on the team selection, Fogarty, the reasoning behind him losing his...
Well, we've got a squad of players, especially in that forward line. If you look at our forwards, we've got a really even, balanced group that are playing great footy across the board. So at SNFL level, we've got guys that are performing well. Billy Frampton's one of those who... he's knocking on the door constantly saying, I'm ready to play, I'm ready to compete. And so when you look at our squad and we look at the way we're performing, it's not necessarily all about what the player at AFL level is doing wrong. Sometimes it is what you're getting from below. And this is one of those cases. Sure, Fogg's got some things he's going to work on. And last week we had, in the end, I think close to 20 intercept marks against when we were going forward, against a great opposition. So we're not taking that away from our opposition, but there are things, as I said, that Fogg's going to work on, things that Shane McAdam's going to work on, the same way Elliot Himmelberg and Billy Frampton are doing that at SANFL level. And we'll continue to look at our team as a squad and make changes where we feel it'll help us to win games on the weekend.
What are the things specific to Fogg that he needs to do?
Well, I mentioned the contest. I mentioned that ability to bring the ball to ground. Fogg's weapons are his ability to hit the scoreboard and, on limited opportunity. So we know he can put it through. He's reasonably potent, and that is his weapon. But there are times where we just want Fogg to compete in the air and bring the ball to ground. That gives some of our smaller players a bit more of an opportunity to crumb and can change the game for us, keep us more front half rather than sort of defending our back half.
Do you see him more as a forward again now as opposed to earlier in the year where he was a child?
Again, he'll vary that slightly. So this week he'll probably play a mix of forward. I'd say more 80% forward, but we love to get him around the football so that he can sort of inject and get his game going, almost get a bit of a spark. And he's a big body. He gets in around the footy. He likes to throw his body around. So sometimes when the football's not necessarily coming down the right way, it's nice to have that second string so he can take himself in there and crash around with some of the mids for the opposition.
Talk about offensive set marking, how much selection to do with guys like Harris Andrews who are obviously elite.
Well, we're always looking at the opposition and respecting what they can do, and Harris is probably one of the best in the comp at air assisting and intercepting the ball. So, look, Billy will come into our side and he'll play an important role in that contest, and we'll have to wait on conditions and see how the game's played. But we expect it to be, a reasonably strong contest. Both teams are really high up in contested ball, and we want to test ourselves against the best. I'd say, with respect to all the other teams in the competition, I'd say at the moment Brisbane are, performing consistently as good as any. When you talk about what we do well at the moment, and I've spoken about our DNA a bit, about the fact that we love a fight. Well, he's probably our prize fighter. He's a ferocious attack on the footy player. Enjoys body contact. Some say a little bit random, and that's what you get with a younger player coming in. But that's what we love about him. We're gonna bring him in and let him play in his first game. He'll be up against a really strong outfit in Brisbane, so it'll be a good test. But He won't die wondering, I can tell you that. We'll vary that up without giving too much away. We'll play forward and possibly around the footy at times, depending on how we're going through that midfield area. But that's probably his one wood, is in around the footy and just getting his hands dirty. But for a young player coming in, we don't want to put him straight into that area. But at some stage, you'll get a look. Probably follows on with everything else we see about him as a character, the way he plays his footy, team first. And it's a big decision for Sloaney. He consulted with the experts, did a lot of research in around what it meant, and then made the decision that he wanted to play and wanted to be part of this young group's development. So I look forward to, we all look forward to having him out there on the weekend. He's huge on field and even bigger off field. Look, without talking details, I'm not an expert, but I do have an understanding of it. The earlier, if he was to get that fixed now and the tendon put back, the chances are that the improvement is stronger in the hand and closer to 100. It won't be 100%, but it'll be closer than leaving it to the end of the year where he might get it to 60% range and so on. So ultimately, that decision that he's made has been around. He values the 8 rounds of footy, and he believes that going forward, he's a guitar player actually, Sloaney. So it's going to be an interesting one for him.
Did he consult you at all?
We spoke through it. We had a chat, and it's a hard one because ultimately it's his decision on where he goes with that. And we were open about ultimately you make this decision, Rory, and in the end he decided. And as I said, he spoke to a number of experts and made sure he had his head around it. So.
One on preparation. So the last 48 hours, has it interrupted some of the normal processes of meetings and you're looking forward to that sort of stuff you're having? Or is it just simply the players taking the day off?
You probably know the main point. We didn't get a lot of downtime, and we talk about sharpening a sword. Wednesday is a day we like to give our people the opportunity to spend time with family and recover both mentally and physically. We didn't have that opportunity this week, but we did what we could while we were away to give the boys enough time. So it changed a few meetings. Flying's an interesting process to go through. You can get dehydrated. We did whatever we could, and we prepared as professionals to try and perform for this weekend's game. And as I said before, a young group, they're open to trying anything and quite enjoyed the challenge. We'll find out, I guess, in the next 24 hours. Oh, yeah, tough job. I mean, you could go through any of their forwards and it's going to be a tough weekend, but we'll have a look at that one with a bit of detail. But Brownie's one who often goes to...
Just on their forwards, Jordan Butts, how assessed his season? Obviously, looks like they have a big job this weekend.
He's got a very big job as well. Yeah, we could talk them all. We've been really pleased for Butts because he puts in hard work, and he's a quiet achiever. He's a quiet young lad, and he's starting to come out a bit and realise the importance of comms, and especially on field. But I mean, he's had big jobs all year, and that's just how it is. The key back gets the key forward every week, and he'll have another massive job this week. So couldn't be more pleased for him.
I understand he is pretty quiet. How have you been able to bring him out of his shell this year?
We're still working on it. We're still working on it with a lot of our boys. Communication's a big thing in footy, and sometimes that comes with experience. And we're getting there. We're going through a lot of different, learning styles and teaching them about what it means to communicate on field. And they're growing as a group. They're improving and getting better every week.
Any thoughts on the Brisbane thoughts?
Yeah, they got a good fast break. I thought it was great. And to be honest, it's Nicola's done an amazing job. SA Health have been incredible for us and for the game of AFL. So I'm no expert on infectious disease either, so I'm going to get a lot of things wrong with that. But I thought it was a ripper. Leroy's. We'll probably tag Leroy. I was wondering why you're all smiling. You thought I was going to go there, didn't you?
Thank you guys, all good.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.